It's May 30th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a bandit defying the Old West, a queen riding into danger to trap an attacker, and a sudden storm that transformed a crowded staircase into a nightmare. Let's begin. On May 30th, 1899, in the lonely canyons outside of Globe, Arizona, a stagecoach rolled through the desert, unaware that one of the outlaws of the Old West was waiting in the dust. Her name was Pearl Hart. Born in Canada, desperate for money, and determined to not disappear quietly, Pearl cut her hair short, put on men's clothing, and armed herself with a revolver. Beside her was Joe Boot, her partner in a plan that was bold, foolish, and almost unbelievable. As the four-horse stagecoach entered Crane Springs Canyon, the pair stepped from hiding. Boot held the driver at gunpoint, and Pearl moved from passenger to passenger, taking money, weapons, and valuables. In total, they escaped with about $400 and 2 firearms. Pearl then handed each passenger $1 back so they could buy food and lodgings when they reached town. For a moment, it seemed like the perfect outlaw story, but the desert was not kind. Pearl and Boot got lost in the Arizona wilderness, wandering through the heat, dust, and silence. Days later, a sheriff's posse found them asleep. Pearl was captured, but her story was only beginning. Newspapers rushed to her jail cell. Photographers wanted her picture. Reporters wanted her words. America had found its bandit queen. Just like that, Pearl Hart vanished into legend, a woman who robbed a stagecoach at the very end of the Old West. On May 30th, 1842, Queen Victoria did something almost unthinkable. She used herself as bait. Just one day earlier, as Victoria and Prince Albert rode through London, a man named John Francis stepped from the crowd and raised a pistol towards the royal carriage. But the gun didn't fire. Before anyone could seize him, Francis vanished into Green Park, leaving behind a terrifying question. Would he try again? Prime Minister Robert Peel urged the Queen to stay safely behind Buckingham Palace, but Victoria refused. Instead, she and Albert agreed to ride the same route again the very next evening. This time, plainclothes officers were hiding amongst the crowd. As the royal carriage moved along Constitutional Hill, the trap was set. Then, Francis appeared. Once again, he raised his pistol towards the Queen. A shot ran out, and it missed. Before he could escape, undercover officers tackled him to the ground. The would-be assassin had walked straight into the royal sting operation. Francis was convicted of high treason and sentenced to one of the harshest punishments in British law, but Queen Victoria intervened. His sentence was commuted, and instead of execution, he was transported for life to Australia. Victoria would survive several assassination attempts during her reign, but this one remains one of the strangest. The day a young queen rode into danger, knowing the gunman would be waiting. On May 30th, 1999, in Minsk, Belarus, a crowd gathered for music, celebration, and a warm evening outside of the Sports Palace. Thousands of people had come for an outdoor beer festival and rock concert. The air was loud with voices, music, and summer excitement. Then, without warning, the sky changed. A violent storm rolled in, and rain began to fall hard, then hail, and in seconds the celebration turned to panic. Around 2,500 concertgoers rushed towards the metro station underpass. The entrance was narrow and the stairs were wet. As people rushed forward, some slipped on the slick cement, others stumbled behind them, and the pressure grew heavier and heavier until the stairway became a trap. Within minutes, the rush from shelter became one of the darkest tragedies in modern Belarus history. 53 people died that night, many of them teenagers and young adults. 2 police officers also lost their lives while trying to help control the crowd and save others. Today, near the entrance of the station, a memorial called The Roses stands in their memory. It holds 53 metal flowers, 40 broken roses, and 13 tulips, engraved with the words, 53 scars on the heart of Belarus. This tragedy is a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous moment isn't the disaster that people are running from, it's where everyone runs to. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.